I'm Rhett.
And I'm Link.
And you're watching Behind the Brand
with Brian Elliott.
Nice. Hey, I'm Brian Elliott. Welcome to another edition of Behind the Brand. Today I'm here in the amazing Good Mythical Morning studios with the beautiful, can I say, Rhett and Link.
Please say that.
Guys, thanks for having us to your amazing studio space. This is legendary.
Thanks for being here.
Welcome.
Well, it's my pleasure.
Are you comfortable?
We talked about this off on camera. I would have liked an ottoman, but that's okay.
Hey, we offered an ottoman. We have a broken one that you could use.
Is it easier today to start something new? Or is it more difficult because now you have a further distance to fall if you fail?
Yeah, so for us, I do feel like there's a lot more people watching when we try stuff. You know, even within the context of Good Mythical Morning, if we try something in a particular episode that's different, it's like, ooh, it stings a little more when it feels like a failure to us. But then, we do have a mission to start to round out what mythical entertainment means and what programming could mean for mythical entertainment that doesn't feature us front and center. And
I think
there is a good amount of pressure.
Well, and I think that it's, there are people who are just paying for content right now, right? YouTube Red is an example of somebody, you pitch an idea, they give you a budget. That's happening in a lot of other places as well. You got CISO is the new NBC-backed comedy network that's paying for content. So some of these smaller places that Go 90 with Verizon, so it's like, okay, I don't know what those budgets are exactly, but I know that they're somewhere between, AVOD, advertiser-based content, and then like your traditional cable stuff. So we kind of have to make a decision of like, all right, there's a completely different strategy for developing something that is just a YouTube strategy, an advertising-driven strategy. It's going to be cheap content. It's not going to take a lot of personal capital from our business in order to make that, because we're using our own money to develop things that aren't very risky. So I think that's a difficult thing to do right now because it is so congested. Because when you come up with an idea, like we have to run an interference. It's like, has anybody else done this already? Or is somebody doing it? And now that we've come up with the idea independently, but somebody did it, but it didn't get a lot of views. Like, does it seem like we're copying? Like, There's those kinds of questions.
Yeah.
So that's one aspect of it. But then there is okay, we're working to a place where we, as a company, we can be like, hey, we have a show idea. Or is there anybody out there on the market who's got the money to make it? It may not be a show that we're in, but it's a show that we can creatively oversee and a show that we can, pimp out there from our existing networks.
Yeah. So what should we be measuring, right? If it's not just the vanity metrics of subs and views, how else are you measuring your creations to decide whether or not to cut bait or move forward?
Well, I think that with traditional YouTube, it unfortunately is views. I think that you see if something resonates with an audience first, and then I think you have to have something resonate with an audience before you can then sell it to an advertiser. Because I think the sweet spot for us is like, oh, we've got an idea, there's an audience around it, and then you've got to kind of upsell it to, you got to integrate a sponsorship into it beyond just the ads that are running on YouTube in order to make it profitable.
But let's suppose that I'm a new YouTuber, okay? Let's go back, because I know a lot of people watching this have YouTube channels and they're just wishing they had more subs. And now that the first mover advantage is over, phase 1 of YouTube is done.
Right.
Arguably phase 2 is done. We're maybe into phase 3. What are we in the 15th year? Ish.
13th year probably. Yeah.
Yeah, heading into third quarter of this thing.
Yeah.
It's harder than ever to get subs, and views are a function of subs, right? You know that if you have 1 million subscribers, maybe 3 to 5% of your population is going to watch that.
Yeah.
Right. And so, if I've got a brand new channel, how do I know whether to quit my day job, or how much longer am I have to plan to work at Starbucks before I can quit this thing and do what you guys do full time? What's the answer to that?
Yeah, that's a tough one. For us, again, way back, we weren't making any money. There was no AdSense at all. So it was in that sense, it was even more difficult. It's like we had to approach potential sponsors. That was our only model.
Yeah, but I do think today the name of the game is have you cracked into an audience that you can, okay, it's kind of predictable. When I do this many people watch, and yet there's a sustainability to the content. Like, oh, I can see that this show idea of me opening up toys or getting my child to open up toys is going to get this many views. And you know what? There's thousands of toys out there.
Yeah. You know what else gets a ton of views, and I don't get it? Trash trucks. You ever gone to YouTube and looked at the trash trucks?
Like just footage of
kids.
Sanitation workers?
It's toddlers.
Yeah.
Parents put that kind of video on for toddlers just to watch.
It's amazing. Millions and millions and millions of views on people picking up the trash. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a lot safer than sending your toddler out to like sit
Follow the
up
trash truck.
close to the trash can, because the way they pick them up now, it's like
It's not even a person.
it's violent. So you want the violence to be on screen, not right there in front of your kid's face. Like you don't want trash to be all on them. Then you got to shower them.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Well, once they go
my
in the
youngest
trash
want-
can, I think that's it. I think
They're
you
gone.
just say goodbye. You get another kid.
my youngest we had a talk with him last night about, well, we got to have a quota of showers or baths if that's your jam.
Is he smelling a little bit?
He's smelling a little bit, and I'm like, come on, at least once a week, man.
That does not skip a generation.
No, it doesn't.
Those kids don't want to shower. But yeah, YouTube is parenting a whole generation of children through like sanitation videos, and we
Gotcha.
need to get in on that.
So where do you think the white space is? What's not been done? Vlogging has seemed to blow up since Casey Neistat started it, years and years ago. Most recently just white hot after he concluded his run and
Right.
sold his business or he's doing this collaboration with CNN, still yet undefined. Love what Casey's doing. Hey, Casey, I know you're watching my show religiously. Thank
Yeah,
you.
he's a big fan.
But like, where's the white space? What's not being done? Maybe is vlogging dead? Is this direct to camera kind of stuff? Is this done? Is this played out, or is there still a place for it?
No, I
don't
think that's a genre that was invented on the internet and that will never go away.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that type of connection, and I mean, you see how it's giving an added level of connection on Instagram now.
Yeah.
But
Or
I think
Snapchat.
But the
That
risk
still exists. by
the
time
risk
this
in
comes out.
vlogging is what happened with Casey. It's like you got a guy who's got all kinds of ideas and all kinds of potential, who's spending 18 hours a day on something that prevents him from doing anything else. So when vlogging becomes a success, the opportunity afforded by that success threatens the vlogging itself. So I think that vlogging as a genre is not going away, but individual vloggers have a shelf life.
Yeah.
And Casey demonstrated that in a really smart way, because he was like, I'm not going to wait until this sucks to leave. I'm going to Jordan this thing, the first Jordan time he retired.
He did the second Jordan though. He's doing it again.
Yeah, he is. Is this like?
This is Wizards Jordan.
So like the
Casey is like-
CNN thing is like maybe Jordan's baseball career. I don't want to say
Yeah.
that. I mean, hopefully it will be more successful than that. I have a lot of faith.
I'm
in
not
Casey.
making any money off of it, so I don't care.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say that to Casey, but
That reminds me. So the Jordan model kind of reminds me of the Seinfeld model.
Yeah.
Who we ran into Seinfeld, Jerry, the other day. Hey, Jerry, I know you're a big fan of this show. But like, his deal, right? Like the comedians in cars getting coffee. In fact, when I was there, I pitched him this other show, like construction workers getting candy, and it was.
Yeah,
He loved it.
as long as there was alliteration.
he's
It
running
wasn't
with
as
it.
good.
Babies getting thrown into trash cans.
Yeah.
That's a bad one.
Confection workers eating candy in cafes. I don't know.
Well,
But-
that's the white space. You just answered it. Confection workers.
Yes. New thumbnail. I guess, so he's reinventing himself for that show on Netflix now for $100 million. Let's find some white space. Let's give some of these, let's throw a bone. Let's give some of these peeps some ideas.
I mean, if there is, we would be doing it if we knew what it was.
You're holding back, aren't you?
No.
Absolutely.
You're sandbagging.
I'm holding back. I mean, every day we're having the same conversation.
Link, the energy from you has just completely been sucked out of it. What's happened to you? Like, you've become very solemn.
I don't want to give any of my ideas, man.
You just like right back
I'm
in
sorry,
that shell.
I can't give you our ideas. I mean, every day we're racking our brains for like to move into that white space. We really are.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's how can we platform other people? And
But I mean, but even for us, I mean, a lot of it is, I mean, everything is remix, right? And everything's inspired by someone else. But as we think about what we're going to do on Good Mythical Morning, or what we're going to do with other shows that we might be developing, we're thinking about what's already working and what can you learn from that. It's very difficult to. It's like sitting in a room and thinking, like, what's the next music genre that hasn't been invented? Well, most likely it's like a mix of two other ones.
Yeah.
Or one that's kind of slightly gone off in a different direction. So for us, the name of the game is to begin executing a new idea that is original. It's inspired by something or a combination of things, but it's original. And then as it interacts with an audience, it will kind of organically take on some sort of new identity. Hopefully, that will fill the white space.
And I'll say this. I think that, if you're trying to make it on YouTube and you're thinking about, like, I'm going to make this show where every week I do this, I'd say, well, don't get ahead of yourself. I'd say, make a great video that you're passionate about and that you're proud of and that you can still analyze and learn a lot from, and just see what happens and be informed by it. It's such an iterative process, but on the internet it can happen so quickly.
Yeah.
But if you stay inside your own head and then you're like, all right, I've developed this whole show idea and I got 20 episodes in my mind and I'm just going to do them. Yeah. Well, you're short-circuiting the learning process and the conversation that can happen. That I think, I mean, if you look at case studies of what really works on the internet, I think a lot of it was just people putting forth their best effort, but they stumbled into it.
It was one video.
It was one idea that they stumbled into. They're like, whoa, I can do that again.
Yeah.
And that went so well that I need to do it again.
Your brilliance is shining through now. Now I see it. The whole height thing, I got it now. Because that's actually a super smart business lesson. I mean, we have this conversation too, and we're creating original content for folks. Like, someone will come to us and say, I got this new product, and it's a super great idea, it's going to change the world, and I want to make a video about it, and let's go. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, wow, that seems real risky and backwards. Like, how much did you spend on that prototype? And, oh, what, you have inventory already? You've made 100,000 of these? It's like, right. It's very backwards, right? Where we should be thinking, like you just mentioned, like, let's find maybe a problem to solve first, and then let's find an audience who has that problem. Mm. So once we know what the problem is and we can answer who it is, then we can tailor make a solution for that audience. Whether that's, a deep, narrow niche of people, like the bronies who just love brony stuff. That's a deep, narrow niche. But that Kickstarter case study, are you familiar with this case study about the bronies?
Mm.
No.
So, do you know what brony is?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, apparently there's this huge fan base of bronies, but it's still, compared to the world population, very small. But they did this Kickstarter campaign a few years ago.
These are older people who like My Little Pony.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they did this Kickstarter to do this documentary about bronies and, profile their whole lifestyle and all this stuff. And it did incredibly well. Like, it way overperformed by like 3,000%. I think it did raise a few $1 million, on Kickstarter, which just goes to show you that you don't need like the masses anymore. You don't need, even though NBC is great, I know they all watch this show. You don't need primetime TV on Channel 4 to be successful. You just need the right number. Yeah. Whatever that is. And so if you can find the problem and then identify who the audience is and then make something special for them and, ring that bell, solve that problem, whatever, then you've got something. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, and that's, the internet is the perfect grounds for that kind of experimentation to happen.
You were going to say that, huh, Link?
I was going to say that exactly.
It's almost getting to the point where I can read your mind.
And then take credit for it.
Yes.
Thanks.
As I always do.
Thanks for that.